Hi guys, Chris here with the new Teclast X5 Pro. So it's the latest tablet from them, it's their flagship, and it's powered by the new Intel Kaby Lake 7Y30. So it has 8GB of RAM in here, 240GB SSD, and also wireless AC with a very familiar design. As you can see, it is like a Surface Pro 4. It has a removable keyboard that's very easy to dock in. It just clips in. You can push that to an upright position, and then a 2-position kickstand. You see, that's the first position right here, and then later that can be put down like so. So let's have a look at it now in greater detail. So port-wise, on the right here we have the DC in for charging. Below that is micro HDMI out, then a full-size USB 3 port. Now that will power external hard drives and does run at correct USB 3 speeds. And lastly, the Type-C port. Now this Type-C port is meant to accept charge. I have tried a 12-volt, 2-amp charger in there, other chargers that I have, and I can get nothing to work charging this tablet with the Type-C port. So perhaps my unit is faulty, I don't really know, but you can at least get data out of this port, and that's running at USB 3.0 speeds. On the left side at the top, we have the power on button. Below that, the 3.5mm audio out. Now this does support microphones, and it also has reasonably good quality. There's no static. Good mids, good bass coming out of this. Perhaps lacking in a little bit of volume there, probably so we don't damage our ears. Now below that is an interesting micro USB 2 port. While I say interesting, is it looks like it will accept charge because there's a charge logo behind there, but I can't get any charge out of this port connecting it up to my various chargers. Doesn't seem to work for data either, so I don't even know why it is there. And of course below that is the volume up and down buttons. They, like the power button, are made out of metal. And on the back there's a 5-megapixel autofocus camera that is good really for Skype and taking the occasional photo of a diagram, for example, but you wouldn't want to be taking photos of your family and friends with this kind of camera. And anyway, what kind of person holds up a tablet to take photos? And the strip along the top, this part is made out of plastic. That of course is for the wireless and Bluetooth antenna reception. So just like the Microsoft Surface series, the micro SD card slot is located behind the kickstand here. So here we have the layout of the keyboard, which is perfectly fine. It's 12 inches, so spacious, good to type on, but not as good as other type covers I have used. The reason is it's got a little bit of bounce, and you can see there when it's in this upright position. When you lie it flat, it's not really that bad to use. You put it down in the lower angle here, there it's fine. You also notice too that it does have shortcuts, but one of the shortcuts I like to and often use is print screen, and that's not on the keyboard. Now the touchpad down here, it's okay. It's not the best I have used. It does support gestures like double tap, swipe down and things, and double tap to scroll, but you can't actually disable that. You need to do a registry hack to get past that if you don't like those gestures. And there is even one tiny little stylus LED right here for the caps lock. And all folded up like this, the keyboard acts also as a screen protector, just like the other 2-in-1 tablets. So there's a 2-megapixel camera located just above the screen here with average quality, decent enough for Skype, but really that is about it. So the panel it uses is an IPS panel, 1920 by 1200. Colors are good, deep blacks. Viewing angles are also good. And the maximum screen brightness is where this panel is let down. I don't know whether it's Teclast or the panels they have used, but I found the same with the T-Book Power 16, that they have set or have a brightness that's just not sufficient. It's only about 190 lux, which really is not good enough, I feel, especially since this panel isn't fully laminated. So we do have a gap between the glass on the front and then the IPS panel below. So it really should be, I'd say, another 50 lux brighter. I would be happy. But it's perfectly usable indoors. Just don't expect to use this screen or be able to see it correctly or properly in sunlight or really, really brightly lit environments. You will struggle. Now, performance of the 7Y30 Core M
is a step up from the 6Y30, the last generation model. So here we can see now the single core score is over 3,000 points with Geekbench 4. Now I just tested out my Mi Notebook 12 with their Core M last generation model, and that got 2,500 single core and then 4,500 multi-core score. So you can see a real nice jump up there in performance, at least when it comes to this benchmark. And you can feel it too. When using it, it just feels to me a little bit more quicker, a little snappier. Now the performance of the Core M, I would say, is good for everyone apart from people who want to do some serious video editing. Like if you want to edit 4K videos, then it's a no-go. But if you want to do everything else, even some light gaming, it's okay. But heavy games like AAA titles, that's not what it's good at. But the Core M3 for me is quite a good chipset. I really do like the performance it gives. So I did run some benchmarks. Just a few other ones here to go through. So Antutu, someone asked me to run this. Almost 200,000. Now the Core M3 6Y30 gets around 170,000 points. Sorry, 170,000 points. So there's quite a bit of a difference here. It's a substantial bump up, around 10% or so when it comes to that benchmark. And here's the OpenGL score for a Cinebench R15, and then the CPU score. Not a bad score there. And here is my micro SD card. So the micro SD card slot on the back, those are the speeds I got out of a Samsung Evo 64GB. You can get up to 100 reads and writes if your card supports it. And here is the internal drive, which is a 240GB 4C M.2 SATA 3 SSD. Not bad there. The 4K is a little low, 4K reads, but otherwise not bad performance. So audio is something that normally the Chinese manufacturers skip over, apart from Xiaomi. Xiaomi tend to put decent speakers in. So we've got one speaker right here and another in the exact same position down the bottom, front firing speakers. That's a good move, but let's have a listen to how they sound. So there's some distortion there at 100%. There's a little bit of a crackle coming through in those speakers. I would like them to be a little bit louder. They have some volume to them, but the quality really isn't the greatest. So I rate those speakers as very average. So just how is it at gaming? Well, here you can see this is Battlefield 4. I'm still getting reasonably decent frame rates considering this is running in 720p, and it is a demanding game. But as you'll see in my gaming review of the X5 Pro, that you can actually get away with playing some games with very good frame rates, over 60 frames per second. So the popular titles like Counter-Strike, Global Offensive, and League of Legends are very playable on the Intel HD 615 graphics.
Alright guys, so that's my review there. So just to quickly recap my pros and cons. Build quality, excellent. It's very solid. It's a well put together tablet. Now performance of it also very good. And I like the fact that it does have a Type-C port on there, but that comes to the con that I can't seem to charge via that Type-C port. Now, Teclast claim we can charge via it, but I couldn't find any of my chargers that work on it. So I don't know whether my unit is faulty. I'm not sure what's up with that. Also, the port location's a little odd because we have the USB Type-C port at the top and the USB 3 port at the top. I would prefer this to be shifted down to the bottom. But of course we have the dual front-facing speakers left and right at the bottom. If they'd move those to the top and put the ports down the bottom, I would be a lot more happier with this design here. And the kickstand as well, we only get 2 positions. That's a minor complaint. I don't find that to be a deal breaker for me, but it would have been nice if we could lie the tablet down nice and flat. Now the keyboard experience, typing on it, it's good, but it's not going to be the best type cover you'll have ever used. I find that even the Cube i9's keyboard is a lot better than this one. The problem with it is it has a little bit of bounce and a little bit of flex in the middle. The outer edges seem more solid, but I just wish it was a little bit more rigid there. Now the touchpad as well isn't the greatest. It's usable, but it's just lacking a little bit of accuracy. Annoying gestures as well. I just don't find it to be that good, really. Besides that, if you can pick this up for a decent price, it's not a bad tablet, and we've got that ample 8GB of RAM on there, what we don't normally see on the Chinese tablets here. So that's an added benefit there. Oh, and I almost forgot too. Battery life, 5 hours, if you're lucky, isn't really that good. I'd like to see a lot more, but that tends to be the trend with Core M tablets, that you can't really squeeze out much battery life from there because they're not like the Atoms, which are more efficient there. Okay, so I think I've rambled on enough. Thank you so much for watching this review, and hopefully I will catch you back in the channel soon with more up-and-coming reviews on tech from China, and just like this tablet here. Hopefully see you then. Bye for now.